call the meeting to order, and because I don't have my glasses real handy, can someone read the due to ongoing COVID paragraph?
Sure. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, in accordance with Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, OML, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining Zoom meeting ID number 880-9915-1478 or by calling 301-715-8592. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Heather Hampson, Administrative Coordinator at hhampson@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 145 prior to the meeting.
Thank you, Trish.
You're welcome.
Hi, Heather. Hello, Bridget.
Hi,
Hi.
Hey, Bridget.
that's me.
It doesn't look like you, Bridget.
Bad hair day.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my excuse too. I'm looking a little rough today.
We're brave, Steve.
I'll turn my video off too then.
Stop.
The first item on the agenda after calling the meeting to order is public input. Do we have any public input?
No,
Doesn't sound that way.
nope.
So after public input, we have review of the solid waste transfer trash hauler regulations. Pam, anything you want to say in that?
I have not gotten anything back from DPW yet. So what I think I should do, if you agree with this, is to send them a follow-up email and see if, do you have any input for us? But then perhaps to clarify that what we're looking to do here is just make sure that we're doing all the things that we're required to do by law or by regulation. But I think the difference is that there are perhaps some additional things we can do that would bring maybe more recycling points and would be more money coming back to the town. But I don't know what that dollar amount is. So I don't know if they're thinking, oh my God, we've got to go through this whole thing from scratch. And so let me just send them an email saying, look, this is really what we want. So we want to make sure that we're following with them a lot. And then Bridget, you said that you also wanted to review it with kind of like a Neshoba eye on it. So I thought perhaps you and I then could set up a time prior to our next Board of Health meeting for us to go through it.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. Do you want
That's
to?
okay with
do you
everyone
wanna,
else.
do you have your schedule available? Do you want to pick a date and time, or do you want to email tomorrow with?
I have my schedule downstairs. I don't think I have much going on next week,
Okay.
set in stone. I just, of course, have a car issue that I have to deal with, but
Oh, okay, right.
but we could, I mean, if you wanted to come to my office, you could certainly do that.
Yeah,
If that's okay with you. Yep.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, I can.
Then
if you want
what
to
day
pick
are
up-
you in the office next week? Tuesday?
I
Monday?
am in the office probably next week. I have to check either like Wednesday or Thursday or a Tuesday after 10:30.
Okay, just let me know what day it's going to be,
Okay.
because I've got a lot of flexibility. I have a bunch of calls, but I can kind of move them around next week to accommodate a call or a meeting with you.
Okay, I'll send you a couple of dates if you want, and then we can
Okay,
just go from there.
all right, because then at least we can get our piece of the review done, and, then if we kind of narrow the scope for DPW, they might be able to do it a little bit more quickly. So I'll take that
Sounds
one
good.
too.
Sounds good to me.
Okay,
You good with that, Trish?
Yes, Steve, you had said last week something about you wanted emails for all of the trash haulers and the bins that were blocking the sidewalks. I had written that down next to that we had tabled that conversation till tonight.
So shortly after it snowed, I guess we got about 4 or 6 inches of snow. The sidewalks are narrow after they plow them.
Yeah,
And I think that people, when they were putting their dumpsters out, they left them off the plowed sidewalk. But after the trucks picked up the trash and the recycle, they just put the bins back in the middle of the plowed sidewalk. And what I was talking about, Trish, was having just an email sent out reminding the trash haulers not to block the sidewalk after they empty the barrels. That's just about it.
okay.
But it wasn't any specific hauler. I thought it would be a good idea just to send out an email to all the haulers that are licensed in the town of Ayer as a general email.
Reminder, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, Pam, if you had any thoughts on that?
it's good. What I was just thinking is, we already have something in the regulation about not blocking sidewalks, but that's a piece of the language that we can take a look at. And if we're going to make changes to the reg anyway, we could add something there, to sort of highlight that, when it's snowing in particular,
Sure.
even when it's snowing, you don't get a pass.
Yep. Do you want to send out an email just reminding the haulers not to do that? Or do you want to wait until after you've reviewed the regulations?
Oh, no, I would do it. I thought you were saying that you had done it after the last meeting.
No, I think we talked about it.
Did,
And
yeah.
Heather, you had the addresses, I believe, didn't you?
Yeah, I have a few. I gotta go through them and I will draft an email just stating to remind them that with snow in the forecast through the winter to make sure that the barrels aren't blocking the driveway. I mean, it makes it hard too. I mean, I walk every day on Washington Street.
Yep.
And not everybody shovels their sidewalk. I mean, I slip every day. I haven't fallen yet, thank goodness. But people aren't, and I feel bad for the mail carriers because they're not even shoveling their front stairs where their mailboxes are. So it makes it kind of hard to put your barrel down if someone hasn't shoveled their sidewalk like they're supposed to.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
There's no place to put it because they could probably put it down in the crunchy snow pile, then it falls over. Not much you can really do. But I mean, I have no problem sending an email out just reminding them that with the snow through the winter, just to be careful that they're not blocking sidewalks or putting the barrels back in the street. And I mean,
I think it'd be a good idea. If Trish and Pam, you guys good with that?
That's good.
Absolutely.
I was just looking back on the notes from last meeting, and I had that right by where we had tabled the discussion on the regulations, and that was a comment that was made, so.
Well, if Heather can draft an email, like I said, just a reminder to all the haulers that are licensed in Ayer, I'd be happy to review it and we can just send it out to everybody.
Okay.
And I think just as a safety thing, it's a good idea. And if someone has to take their barrel out of the snow after it's emptied, it's better than someone blocking the sidewalk, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's also nice for them to get a little communication from time to time from us. Hey, we're still out there. We're still keeping an eye on you.
Okay. Yeah, Heather, when you can do that, just let me know and send me a draft and we can go over it and just send it out to everybody.
will do.
Great, thanks.
All right.
The next thing on the agenda is the review of the mask recommendation. I've gone around town and I think that there was a pretty good response to putting the signs up in the doors of the restaurants and the businesses that the Board of Health is highly recommending that masks be worn. And I see a lot of places that masks are being worn. I also read newspaper reports where there's mandates and there's fistfights and people getting punched. And I don't think that it's the business responsibility to enforce a mask mandate. And I strongly believe that if someone's going to wear a mask or even remotely considering wearing a mask, they will. But I guess, what is your feeling in terms of making any changes to that? I know the numbers are going in the right direction. Our positivity rates are down. You know, I know other towns have put in a mask mandate. I'm not of the opinion that mandating it is going to change what we've already done, but we can make any changes or modifications that are necessary.
I don't think we should, Steve, only because I mean, how do you monitor that? And you
We have,
can't, you know,
we have no enforceability at all. you
right,
know.
and you can't expect the businesses to do it and then get into a tussle with somebody over it. So, and like you said, the numbers are going in the right direction. And I'm kind of surprised, like how do these other towns and cities enforce it? Do they leave it up to the business owners, or they have someone going around with a clipboard? It's, you know.
So, Trish, it's a very good point. And, you know, one of the issues that we have is it's really hard to enforce, and the people that are going to wear masks are going to wear masks. And we are actually asking people not to get into fights over it.
No.
But what we have seen is that, unfortunately, when you start saying that there's a mandate, it just creates an environment in some of these facilities where just fights happen. And the staff of the restaurants or food establishments, businesses, they've been through enough over the past 2 years, you know, and again, most of them have, you know, instituted a mask mandate for their staff. Not all, but most. And again, like I said, for those that are going to wear them, they're going to wear them. And most towns don't have the staff to do the mask mandate. And if you aren't going to enforce it, then why go through that? It just.
Right. I think we should just let it be for now.
Pam, any thoughts on your part?
I agree. You know, I mean, I think we're speaking with one voice on this one, because it's a bit of a nightmare to enforce. And
it really
I know
has
some
been.
towns have added them recently. Acton, I think, just recently made it a mandate rather than a recommendation. But I think because of the enforcement issue, I mean, unless we can get some buy-in for enforcement from the police, which has not gone anywhere for us, I don't want to put Neshoba in that position.
No.
No, I think that the signage that Neshoba printed up on behalf of the Board of Health and posted, I think it's fairly effective. I know we did get some correspondence from someone else who I think may be on the call.
Yeah, I think with a hand raised, as a matter of fact.
I can't see the hand, but I would certainly recognize, I think it's Michelle, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, I think. Oh, there you go.
Hi, everybody. This is Michelle. I just think it's really setting the bar low to say, well, it just can't be enforced. I think the important thing is to have faith in our community, to have goodwill for each of the citizens to do what's right for each other. And why not just wear a mask to help? You can't just expect people to do it on their own. Also, you need to have a rule about it, because there are people who maybe just would be like, oh, I'm just not going to bother because it's encouraged, but they'd be like, oh, it's required. Oh, I'll definitely put my mask on. And every person who puts their mask on could potentially save a life. And I think we need to keep that in mind. Yes, rates are going down a little bit, but it's the right thing to protect not just ourselves, to protect each other. And I feel like it's really not asking much for people to put a mask on. I know it's harder for people who are working the jobs all day to wear the mask all day. The kids are wearing masks all day. My daughter just played basketball with a mask on. So the kids are doing it for each other. Like, why can't we all do that for each other? And I just feel like very strongly it's the right thing to do. We can save lives. We can protect, you know, people in our families who are vulnerable to COVID. And I feel strongly about it. And also, I can tell you, I'm now more likely to shop in other communities that have mask mandates than here. So if you have people who are in a better income bracket, who are going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to go to the local stores when I could go to Donaldson's in Littleton or other communities where I feel safer, and maybe I'm paying double for my groceries, but I'm going to do it. So I feel like those are all reasons to keep in mind. And it sounds like this committee is not feeling like that, but I hope you would reconsider, because I think it's really important for us to put number one health. And I know the enforcement you may be worried about that, but I think we should have good faith in our community to do what's right. But if you do make it required, more people are going to step up out of the goodwill to do that for each other than to just say, oh, well, I don't need to because it's not required.
Okay. Michelle, thank you very much. Pam or Trish, you have any comments, or Bridget?
No, no, go ahead, Pam.
In principle, I absolutely totally agree. It is the difficult thing here. I think we should all be wearing masks. I think that should be something that we do for one another, that we do for society as a whole. You're not just doing it for yourself. Your mask protects me, my mask protects you. I also think that Ms. Everly makes a really good point that people are going to end up voting with their feet on this. And I don't know that these Ayer businesses, if we have businesses in Ayer that are not going with our recommendation to have a requirement, if there are such businesses out there, they risk losing, I think, the business of probably the majority of people that would prefer to shop or do whatever in a masked environment.
Right.
But you can't save, from a business perspective, you can't save people from themselves. No question, people are going to vote with their feet and shop elsewhere. And as they should, if that's a major concern of theirs. And it's a major concern. It should be a major concern of everyone's. It's the hitches in making it. When you make something a requirement, you have to be able to enforce it.
Right.
Otherwise, it just becomes a joke. And why enforce any requirement then? You can't really selectively enforce the requirement. And the concern that I've always had is that it's not something that the Ayer police would get involved in helping with enforcement. It's not a police matter. It's a Board of Health regulation. All we have for compliance is to send out our Board of Health agent. And that's where I'm uncomfortable sending anyone from the SHOBA into a situation where Board of Health is already strongly recommended and you're not doing it. So clearly you've got some strong feelings about not doing it. I don't want to put people in uncomfortable or, God forbid, dangerous situations.
Thanks, Pam. Trish, any thoughts?
That's my line of thinking too. It's the enforcement that is bigger than us. And yeah, and the business, I just can't see where the business owners would go along with it either. And I think we're doing the best we can, just having a strong recommendation.
I think Michelle made some very good points, but I think that in the interest of public health, to create a confrontational atmosphere is worse than trying to mandate something. I agree with her in terms of someone's not comfortable going someplace that someone doesn't wear a mask, then I would agree, don't go there. You know, if someone's encouraging someone not to wear a mask, don't go there. To me, the mask thing is more common sense. It's not a political statement.
Right.
It's me protecting somebody else from, you know, if I have a viral load and I'm coughing on someone, I'm making someone else a danger.
Yeah.
And that's what I see as the benefit of wearing a mask. I think though, if you look, and I'm not an infectious disease expert, but the predictions in terms of the positivity rate going down are continuing through. I think that encouraging people to wear a mask has been positive, and I think the people that wouldn't wear a mask are not going to wear a mask anyhow. And I was at a business in Groton this morning, and on the door it says mandated. And the people that wore masks in there didn't wear a mask because of the mandate. They wore a mask because they think it's the right thing to do. And the people that didn't wear a mask, they weren't dissuaded from going into the business. People were keeping their distance from each other. So I'm not of the opinion at this point in time that we should change this. I guess the next thing we need to look at is, you know, how much longer do we encourage the mask wearing? And I don't know what the answer for that is. You know, I'll be looking for guidance from Bridget and CDC and other reliable sources.
Yeah.
But I think the position we took is a right position for the town of Ayer.
Yeah, I'm still feeling that too, but I'm really appreciative of Ms. Eberly for taking the time and making such a good argument.
Oh, she has her hand up. I don't know if that was before or if it's still up. Yeah.
This is not going to turn into a discussion about pros and cons.
I actually just have a question. I'm wondering
Sure.
if the Board of Health has contacted the other local communities to see how are they handling enforcement to compare how what's actually going on with that.
Michelle, we have not done that. Bridget, I think you might have a better handle on that than anyone else.
Yes.
Though.
So I have spoken to many other people, and there's some of the towns, there's no enforcement. I've talked to some other inspectors who are having a very difficult time. They're put in very adversarial positions. They are being yelled at. There's again in some places there's no mechanism for really doing the enforcement. So as far as I know, and doing inspections in other towns as well on the food end of it, all the places I go where there's a mask mandate, there's definitely people. Most of the people are wearing masks, not all of them. You know, and again, it's very hard for enforcement. In some towns, they are simply not doing any enforcement at all. They put the mandate in place with no enforcement.
Thanks, Bridget.
Yep.
I mean, in that sense, it's just, you know, trusting that the community is going to have goodwill for each other. And I wish that was the case here. I wish we could feel like to have faith in our community to do the right thing. And you can't always worry about the few who are going to be problematic, you know, because I like to have faith in people to do what's right and wear a mask and to enforce that.
Well, to be honest, it feels like really that's what we are doing, is where we have a recommendation where we've strongly encouraged it. It's the official position of the Board of Health that you should be wearing a mask in public places at this time. If that recommendation changes coming out of CDC at some point, we would think about changing it, but that is our current position. So we are relying on people to do the right thing. And if they're not going to do the right thing, they're not going to do the right thing, whether there's a sign on the door that says mandate or requirement or whatever it is.
And I think they will, because for example, we had someone come to do a home repair last week and they weren't wearing a mask, and we asked them to wear a mask and to do the job, they put their mask on. So I feel like there's some people who just maybe not doing it. And if you just put the requirement up, they will do it and it will protect other people. And so that's just my thoughts on it. I feel strongly about it. So I just felt like I needed to come here and express that.
And Michelle, we
No,
appreciate
thank you.
that very much. That's why I followed up with you. And I appreciate your time in terms of the meeting and your opinion. But I think the board also has their, the action that we've taken, I think is the right action for the town of Ayer at this time.
Okay, I'm gonna sign off then, but I just wanted to propose maybe next year, there could be some thought about a seasonal required mask mandate, because if you start earlier in the season, we had so many cases in the last couple of weeks, so many cases, and I feel like some of that could have been prevented. You know, more people need to get vaccinated first of all as well. So it'd be great if we could do more local clinics. And I do, the school's doing clinics. It's really great to see the local clinics. So thank you so much for doing all those local vaccination clinics. That's great. But it would be nice if you had something earlier, like November, and you at least had it seasonal when it's peak COVID season. It would make a real big difference. So I really appreciate you thinking about that for the future. And thank you for hearing me out, and have a good meeting.
Yep, thank you,
Good
Michelle.
suggestion, thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the COVID-19 update. Bridget.
I think the numbers are trending down, but I didn't see an email this morning yet from Jim with the numbers this week or late last week, but it does look like the numbers are starting to trend down. You know, again, just keeping
At the
up with
state level, they are, I believe. Anyway,
the state level. I have to check Ayer. Usually Jim sends those.
yeah,
Ayer might have actually gone up a little bit, but I'm not sure. You know, again, keeping in mind we have the prison too and the assisted
Yeah.
living facility. So it really depends on what's happening over there as well. But
I didn't see Jim's report today either. And just as an update on that, Bridget, we're posting that on the town website so everyone can see it
that's great.
on a weekly basis. And Bridget, thanks for taking the time to update the website as well.
Yes, I think that was maybe Jenna, but we're trying to just definitely keep, you know, information up there. And then, you know, obviously the test kits are going out, and we're just, you know, again, asking people to please be diligent with the kits. You know, if you're not having symptoms, not necessarily, you don't need to use a kit. And you might test negative if you don't have symptoms. So people are just testing too soon and at the wrong time. So if you are going to get, you know, test kits, just make sure that you use them appropriately. And I think that's what we're trying to focus on as well as using those kits, not overusing them.
yeah.
But
Did anyone go on the government site to order kits?
I did just
I
for,
did.
yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I got an email from the post office saying I should be hearing soon.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything, and my husband ordered them too. But I have
So-
some here anyways.
It's on the town website in terms of how to go about ordering them if you want them. But I think you make a really good point. If you're asymptomatic,
Yeah.
the chances of the test being positive are probably 50%. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I understand people wanting to have a negative test, but they should be used appropriate to the guidelines.
Right.
Right. And I mean, it all goes back to, and it's, I know people don't want to hear it, just, it's something that we tried to stress all along. Be cautious. Do you really need to have parties and gatherings right now? And if you do, wear a mask, try to be socially distant as much as possible, and know the people that you're with. You know, if they're always going out and you're in that environment, you have to be cautious. you know, we are seeing people definitely get COVID a second time. Some people now even a third time. So, you know, that's something new for me anyway. I try to touch base with the nurses weekly to find out what's going on and where those trends are. And, you know, it's kind of scary to hear people are definitely getting COVID again. So,
Wow, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
yep, no, it definitely is. And I have family members that were just diagnosed for the second time. Like, yeah, so it's, you know, it's definitely something to be cautious of. And that's something that I think people really need to realize is that right now, especially if you have kids that are not vaccinated, you know, you really need to be cautious of where they are and what they're doing. And I think the daycares are getting hit pretty hard too. So, because the kids can't wear masks, they don't, you know, it's hard for them to understand that. And, you know,
true.
One point that I would like to kind of just circle back around to, if you don't mind real quick, is that there are truly some people that cannot wear masks. They just cannot wear them for different medical reasons. Some have severe anxiety and panic, and putting that mask on is very difficult for them. So we need to be cognizant of that. You know, going out and doing inspections, I have met a lot of people that truly have some major issues. And that's why we should be wearing them, to help them. So
Totally agree.
Oh, sorry, I'm just still here, and I just wanted to share this. I'm going to sign off in a second, but I just wanted to share this.
Michelle, I appreciate your comments very much, but this is not an open dialogue.
Oh, okay. I was just going to tell you there is a COVID reporting on the school district page. And right now there's 52 cases at Page Hilltop for the kids, 31 at Laura White for the kids, 54 at the middle school, and 43 at the high school. So just in case you didn't know where to find the statistics, it is right. There's a dashboard on the school district site.
Okay.
And thank you for letting me share that. And I'm going to sign off now. Have a good meeting.
Thanks,
Thank
Michelle.
you.
Sure. Bye.
Anything else on COVID?
nope.
Pam, Trish?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Hopefully the discussion tends to trend down because the cases trend down. You know, time will tell.
Yeah.
Nishoba,
Me again.
you again.
Just kidding. So I'm in between a sneeze. A sneeze and a cough. I did an inspection at Union Coffee. No major issues there. I'm trying to think. I don't think there were any other inspections in the envelope, just some permits that had straggled in for food establishments.
Okay.
And possibly a couple of housing issues that I'm dealing with, but the nurses are involved with one of them. So I don't want to give any addresses on that, but.
Okay. All right. Got it. But everything, nothing's on fire anywhere. Basically.
Nope.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, and I'm sorry, RFPD Junction did give an update. They're supposed to have someone going out to do the hand sink and the 3-bay sink. So I'll follow up with him again this week. He did call last week.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I did notice that they did have the mask recommendation posted in the front window of the establishment too.
Good.
Nothing else, Bridget?
Nope.
Okay. I don't have the meds in front of me. I didn't have any issues with the 13th, but I have not seen January the 10th.
I have a copy in front of me and I don't see anything, Steve. It looks pretty good. Pam, did you get a copy of the 10th?
I did. Yeah. And since I was there,
Right.
Well, do you want to move on the minutes of the 13th? Or the
Yeah,
18th? The
yeah,
18th?
that makes sense, because those did look good.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the December 13th, 2021 meeting.
I
Is there a
second.
second? Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Trish, if you want to make a motion for the 10th, you and I can vote on that.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of January 10th, the Ayer Board of Health meeting, January 10th, 2022.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion? I got none.
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the minutes are, if you have those out, Heather, we'll stop by, or I'll stop by and sign them if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, I'm having an issue getting everybody coming in and signing those. If
No.
we could just, until we meet in person again, if the board's okay with that, if we could just have Steve signing them, just so I could get them up on the website without having any issues, because I hate to have a bunch of minutes sitting waiting for signatures.
Do we have to do anything, a vote on that, or because you're?
I'm not sure. My other board, the planning board just has the chair sign them. I know the board of
Oh.
health always had all three, so I'm just making the recommendation. I just don't want to sit there and have, 4 or 5 to 7 minutes sitting there just waiting for signatures that I can't.
Well, if we've approved them at an open meeting of the Board of Health, I don't have any problem with having one signature on them. As
Okay.
long as we've reviewed and approved them. If you
Yeah.
guys.
Very
are
good,
okay with
thank you. Yeah, so
No.
I can have all those ready for you, Steve, to sign. I also have trash hauler permits for you to sign. So whenever you want to come on down, I can have you sign your name 100 times.
that. Okay, that sounds good.
No, that works.
Okay.
Yep.
Other matters, are there any bills or mail?
No, I didn't get any mail the last few days.
Okay. Under action items, the only action item I have is the budget. And there's a budget hearing, not a hearing, just a meeting of the budget, Zoom meeting on the 26th. And I talked to Pam today. Pam, you said you'd be able to make that meeting?
Yeah.
And I know, Trish, you had a very special conflict that evening, so.
Yeah, I do.
If I can call in, I'm going to be outside of internet capability, but if I can call in by phone, if I have a signal, I'll call in. The only item that has, I believe, any controversy, and I would hope that it's minimal, is we adjusted the budget by $3,000 for educational purposes for the members of the Board of Health. I think there's so many issues coming our way right now that whatever members of the board can do to be cognizant of them. And I think that, the comments from our guest tonight echo the same thing, but we need to be, to stay upfront as much as we can on the issues that are happening. And I'm not sure what, regional or state or local meetings there are that we can participate in. But if we have the funding to do that, it's something I think would be very important for the board going forward.
Steve,
Yeah.
I agree.
is there any way too that we could get a membership for the Board of Health and Air for the MHOA, Mass Health Officers?
I've
I talked to Heather
contacted-
about that last week.
Yeah, I contacted them to find out how to do that, and I never heard. I'll follow up with them again tomorrow.
So I have the email. I can do it. It would just, as far as the registering and things like that, it's just getting the money.
How much is it?
I think it's
$150.
50.
Yeah, that's
Right,
the because I gotta get them set up with I gotta ask Carrie, make sure they're set up in the system, and if they are, I should be able to do that. So Bridget, if you just want to send me what I need to do, and I'll try to get that cleared through accounting.
Yeah, definitely. And if you don't mind, Steve, just because they have seminars and things like that, could I be the point of contact and then share it with you, or?
Sure. I think it lists the members of the board.
Okay,
And we would be more than happy to list you as a associate. I think we would be happy, unless Pam or Trish don't want you to be.
No, but is that different, Bridget, from MAHB?
yes.
Oh, okay, because that's also 150. And we do
Yes.
that every year.
Yeah, the MHOA is a little different. They do these bigger conferences and things like that. And so it's just,
That sounds really worthwhile, and just keep us, in the loop for if you see anything good that's being offered.
yeah, no, I mean, it's good. And I have to get CEU, so they usually have some pretty good stuff too that I can
Ooh,
get my CEUs.
I just think in terms of knowing what's going on in other communities and knowing how they're dealing with certain things and, the comment about enforcement. But, the PFAS issue in terms of Hyannis and on the Cape and other parts of Massachusetts,
yeah,
knowing how the communities are dealing with that, I think it only makes us stronger and I think a better advocate for the town.
yeah,
Right.
agree.
And we have a lot on our plates coming up, not just COVID, but what you said, Steve, with PFAS and Devons. And honestly, since I've been on this board, Pam, we haven't really asked for any extra funding for very much at all as far as professional workshops or training or anything like that. So it's definitely a
Yeah.
necessity now. We need to
Yeah.
start going to these things.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. If there's no other business to come before the board, is there a motion to adjourn?
I just have I don't know where this should go. I guess this is kind of an action item thing, but just something I didn't want to lose on follow-up is annual report and making sure that, we get that in by the date. You and I talked about that, and I clarified that it is your responsibility.
Well, Trish and I talked about it and we decided it was yours.
It was
I'm
mine
more
as
than-
Throw me under the bus.
No. Yeah,
We should make Trish
I will
write
take care
it.
of that. I think
Let's
Cindy
make Trish
said
write it
it's,
in exchange for not having to be chair.
what's that?
Oh, yeah.
Let's make Trish write it in exchange for not having to be chair. That'll be the price we extract out of her.
Are you making a motion?
As
Oh
long as I have some coaching for any of that.
No, I'm happy to, I'll give it a shot and I'll send it to you guys for any comments. or
Steve,
changes.
Yeah, if you need any
whoever one of you writes it, just let me know. I'll send you the numbers for the trash hauler, chicken permits, and the tobacco permits, so you can put those in there.
That would be great. And it'll probably be me, Heather, that's gonna write it. So I'll
All
write
right,
it, and send it to Pam and Trish for any comments and then we can go forward.
Oh, thank
Thank you.
goodness.
Thanks, Pam.
And my only other thing is, and it's a question, because this may have already been done. And Heather may know, is the bind book done, or did they not have to do a bind book last year?
They did not have to do one last year due to COVID. They suspended it for 2020 and I believe 2021. I'm not 100% sure. They are doing it this year, as far as I know. I haven't talked to Julie in a while, so I don't know, but I'm sure the barn book was done if it had to be. I can't remember
Yeah,
if
she's
she went out
usually-
doing, I want to say she did go out and do inspections, so she must have done the book. I know they were
Okay.
suspended for 2020. They must have resumed last year. So I'm sure
Yeah,
she
I
did
know
that.
2020 was that they definitely didn't have to do it that year. I just wasn't sure what the status was in 21. And
Yeah,
Julie sends that right in to Boston, Steve. It doesn't go through us. She sends it directly to
Okay,
PAR.
Dave.
So yeah, if you're talking to her, Heather, if you just ask her next time you
Yeah.
talk to her, or Steve, or whoever talks to her next, just ask to make sure. I can't imagine she's going to suddenly fall down on that. She never has before, so.
Right.
Anything
that's it.
else?
Nope.
Is there a motion?
Oh, I'll move that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Motion's made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you very much.